Football Pick Show here for Week 7. Well, we're going to get all 51 games eventually, but we're going to get 9 for you in here as we're going to cover Week 7 college football in 6 parts. So this is part 2. We have 9 games on this show. Before we get to just a couple of things, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Free college football picks are updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports. We also have NFL. We have, Major League Baseball, NHL. If you checked out our morning Steam show, they cover NHL and a lot more. It is a good time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel with a thumbs up, we greatly appreciate it. Then visit Tony'sPicks.com. We're a multi-capper site showcasing top cappers in our industry. Click the link to the hot cappers and get signed up to one of their long-term passes. You'll see some of the top performers here on our board, like the VIP. But let's just take a look at some of the numbers here from some of the specific sports, like college football. We can see who the top performers are, like Mindy Hahn has been hot. Collins has been hot. You can see here Hollywood Sam. We've got Mindy. Click the links to the handicapper pages and get signed up to long-term passes. You'll find our premium picks at the top of the page. Drop down menu with the free picks. Also, as we scroll, you'll find the featured picks by the cappers. Each capper can choose one best bet per day from their card per sport, I should say. One best bet per sport for each sport. And really, it's got to stand out. You'll see many best bets up there on the board here from the cappers. Some have more than one because they handicap more than one sport, as you can see there. And of course, the $15 pick is each capper can designate one premium pick from their card as a $15 pick, just to showcase their service out for the clientele out there. And of course, 3-packs are best value there. Many of you have liked the 3-packs. They're one of our best, probably a top sellers here. And as far as packages go, 3-packs up there. Of course, they're all of these individual plays are profit guarantee, must turn a profit. I should say all these one-day passes are profit guarantee, must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credited back in your account. That's what profit guarantee means there. All right, our promo code, you can save 20% off all premium pick packages. When you use that promo code TonyT at checkout, you can access our page by clicking the link in the description, then the All Cappers tab, and get signed up. Always love to hear from you guys, so post your picks in the comments below. And we are looking for cappers to apply. Go to Tony'sPicks.com footer section, submit your form. All right, let's get this one started. Penn State and Michigan college football pick. This one is on Saturday. Penn State moved to 5-0 after their 17-7 home win to Northwestern. Was a season low offensively for the Lions as they gained 360 yards. They ran it 58 times for 220 yards. Penn State limited the Wildcats to only 241 yards on the game, 31 rushing on 28 carries. Sean Clifford completed a season low 50% of his passes, 7 yards per attempt, but that was in raining conditions. The senior quarterback is completing 62% of his passes for 7.5 yards per attempt. Michigan 6-0 after their 31-10 road win at Indiana. Good offensive performance for the Wolverines, gaining 469 yards with 165 rushing on 40 carries. They limited the Hoosiers to only 222 yards, 19 of it rushing on 25 carries. J.J. McCarthy completed 78% in the win, 3 touchdowns a pick for 8.4 yards per attempt. It was a 4-point win for Michigan in their meeting last year on the road. Respecting the Lions wins at Purdue and Auburn this season as Clifford looked poised in each win. The play here will be Penn State at +7. Miami versus Virginia Tech college football pick for Saturday. Miami fell to 2-3 after their 27-24 home defeat to North Carolina. Hurricanes produced 538 yards in defeat, but the run game generated only 42 yards on 24 carries. Hurricanes defense struggled, giving up 470 yards with 309 passing on just 28 attempts. Quarterback Tyler Van Dyke completed 74%, nearly 500 yards of passing for 8.7 yards per attempt. It was an improvement over the past 2 games where he combined for just over 50% passing and less than 5 yards per attempt. Virginia Tech 2-4 after their 45-29 road defeat at Pitt. Hokies defense struggled, surrendering 326 yards rushing to the Panthers on 43 carries. On offense, they averaged just over 4 yards a carry. Grant Wells completed just 53% in the loss with 5.9 yards per attempt on the season. Wells, 59% completion rate, 6 touchdowns, 7 picks, 6.2 yards per pass attempt, which is way down from his previous 2 seasons at Marshall. Hokies offense a major concern here. The play here will be Miami -7.5. Buffalo versus Massachusetts college football pick for Saturday. Buffalo 3-3 after their 38-7 road win at Bowling Green. Bulls a strong offensive performance in the win with 466 yards. Strong rushing attack for the Bulls as they gained 280 yards on 52 carries. They limited the Falcons just 99 rushing yards on 29 carries and benefited from a +3 turnover margin. Cole Snyder completed 63% of his passes with 9 yards per attempt. On the season, Snyder completing 60%, 6.9 yards per attempt. UMass dropped to 1-5 after their 42-24 home defeat to Liberty. Another poor offensive performance for the Minutemen, 233 yards. They've been held to under 300 yards in all 6 games. Defensively, UMass did give up 259 passing yards on 23 attempts. Garrett DeZero is questionable with a knee injury that was bent the wrong way against Liberty. Gino Campiotti in relief last week, just 1 of 7 passing, 5 yards. He did lose his job. Cap Must probably will be back in this spot due to the injury. On the season, Campiotti, 44% completions, a touchdown, 6 picks, and a miserable 3.5 yards per attempt. Bulls offense has shined in their past 2 road games at Bowling Green and Eastern Michigan. The play here will be Buffalo minus 16.5. UConn versus the Ball State college football pick Saturday. UConn moved to 3-4 after their 33-12 road win at FIU. Huskies moved the football for 402 yards, rushing for 295 on 46 carries. On defense, Connecticut did allow 153 rushing yards on 23 carries. Quarterback Zion Turner completed 74% of his passes, only 5.4 yards per attempt. Ball State 3-3 with their 17-16 road win at Central Michigan, a season-low 250 yards offensively for the Cardinals. Defensively, they held the Chippewas to 240 yards, 133 of it rushing on 49 carries. John Paddock completed a season-low 55%, 4.5 yards per attempt. On the season, Paddock completing 64%, 6.4 yards per attempt. Back-to-back road games for the Huskies, who have some poor defensive numbers away from home. Cardinals, good offensive showing at home to Northern Illinois and Western Michigan. The player will be Ball State here at -9. California versus Colorado college football pick. This one goes off on Saturday. Cal fell to 3-2 after their 28-9 road defeat at Washington State. Another poor offensive showing for the Golden Bears on the road, finishing with just 311 yards. They ran it 31 yards on 24 carries. Defensively, Cal gave up 343 yards passing on 40 attempts. Purdue transfer quarterback Jack Plummer completed nearly 70% of his passes for 8.3 yards per attempt. Colorado 0-5 after their 43-20 road defeat at Arizona. Buffalo's defense get torched again, giving up 673 yards, 495 passing on 49 attempts. They gave up over 5 yards a carry in the game, and they ran for over 5 yards a carry in defeat. Freshman quarterback Owen McCown completed just 47% of his passes with 6.2 yards per attempt. And, of course, Colorado, the head coach here, was fired following the loss. Over the past 3 games, the Buffs defense giving up 562 yards, 6.3 yards per rush, 9.5 per pass attempt. In this period, Cal is running for 5.3 yards a carry. The play here will be California, Colorado over 48 points. Vanderbilt versus Georgia college football pick Saturday. Vanderbilt fell to 3-3 after their 52-28 home defeat to Ole Miss. Commodores were competitive for half. Defensively, the Commodores allowed 591 yards, 448 passing on 32 carries. Vanderbilt offense did move the football for 403 yards. Quarterback A.J. Swan completed 71% of his passes in defeat, 281 yards, 7.4 yards per attempt. Georgia 6-0 with their 42-10 home win to Auburn. Bulldogs rolled up 500 yards with 292 rushing on 39 carries. Defensively, they limited the Tigers to 258 yards. Quarterback Stetson Bennett completed 69% in the win with a season low of 6.5 yards per attempt. The run game generated 292 yards on 39 carries. Commodores held to a total of 6 points in their past 2 meetings with the Bulldogs. Play here will be Georgia at -38. Arkansas versus BYU college football pick Saturday. Arkansas fell to 3-3 after their 40-17 road defeat at Mississippi State. Razorbacks did move the football for 483 yards. And they ran it for 241 on 44 carries. They did sit with a -2 turnover margin, but Arkansas, again, it's that pass defense that done them in here. They gave up 395 yards passing on 48 carries. Just seems a lot of teams making big plays against them. KJ Jefferson, a season low 43% completion rate with 6.5 yards per attempt. On the season, Jefferson 66% completions, 9.1 yards per attempt. BYU fell to 4-2 after their 28-20 neutral site loss to Notre Dame. Cougars, a season low 276 yards of offense. They did surrender 296 yards to the Fighting Irish with over 5 yards of carry on the ground, 262 passing on 28 attempts. Jaron Hall, a season low 53% completion, 7.1 yards per attempt. On the year, Hall, 68% completions, 14 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 8.3 yards per attempt. Back-to-back road games for Arkansas. Cougars do have a home win to a major conference school, Baylor, at home in overtime. Razorbacks pass defense very weak. On the road, the team is allowing 568 yards with 395 passing, 8.2 yards per attempt. The play here will be BYU +2. Ohio versus Western Michigan college football pick. This one goes off here on Saturday. Ohio is 3-3 after their 55-34 home win to Akron. Bobcats a season high of 561 yards against an FBS school this season. They limited the Zips to on the ground but allowed 418 passing yards on 54 attempts. Curtis Rourke, 89% completion rate, 16 yards per attempt in the win. Work's season-wide numbers, 71% completions, 14 touchdowns, 2 picks, 9.1 yards per attempt. Western Michigan 2-4 after their 45-23 home defeat to Eastern Michigan. Broncos gained only 299 yards in defeat, running for 91 yards on 36 carries. They did surrender 413 yards to the Eagles with 293 passing on 30 attempts. Broncos did fall behind 35-7 at the half. Jack Selipek, a poor 37% completion rate with season low 5.2 yards per attempt. Now, this season, Selipek is completing 50%, 6.1 yards per attempt. Rourke, the better form, the better quarterback. The play here will be Ohio -1. Alabama versus Tennessee college football pick Saturday. Alabama improves to 6-0 after their 24-20 home win to Texas A&M. Crimson Tide was run heavy in the win, compiling 288 yards on 51 carries. They limited the Aggies to just 323 yards, 70 of it on the ground on 25 carries. Bryce Young, doubtful for this game. His backup Jalen Milroe completed 63% in the win, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, but only 5.8 yards per attempt. On the season, he's completing 61%, 5.7 yards per attempt. Now, Tennessee 5-0 after their 40-13 win at LSU, a monster offensive performance in a tough road spot as they gained 502 yards, running for 263 on 49 carries. They did limit the Tigers to 55 yards, rushing on 28 carries. And then Hooker completed 63% of his passes in the win, nearly 9 yards per attempt. Now, this season, Hooker career highs 70% completions, 10.2 yards per attempt. Crimson Tide broke a mold of recent poor road form here by pounding Arkansas a few weeks back. But the Razorbacks had glaring weakness in their secondary. Of course, you have to look at the dominant win here by Tennessee, just being very, very impressive here. The play here will be Tennessee +7.5. All right, that was our college football pick show here for week 7, part 2. We had 9 of them for you. We'll have more tomorrow, more college football picks there as we continue with this card. We'll have the Wednesday game for you too as well tomorrow. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, set notifications, and visit TonySpeaks.com for our best bets. Click the link in the description below and get signed up. Tony C. back.